kindness can be it can be the smile, it can be listening, it can be expressing something in a gentler way. It can be a lot of different things. It can just be like, hey, how are you doing? Like, are you doing okay? And like actually listening for the answer, or giving a hug.
Okay, we have to begin now. Don't you ever feel really excited whenever you clap that thing?
I always feel really excited when I clap that thing. Yes.
Hey, it's the day after Thanksgiving weekend?
Yep.
The 4-day weekend.
Yes.
Welcome back. Excited to have you back. Excited to have you all back on Stories, Success, and Stuff. I'm going to jump right into it. Because not only are we... let me start with this. The topic is kindness, but before we talk about kindness, let me ask you, what were you... I know that you were very thankful for the company, but personally, what were you thankful for Thanksgiving?
I am thankful for having a strong group of people in my life.
Yeah.
So my family didn't get together this Thanksgiving, which was sad. I'm pretty traditional when it comes to the holidays, so we didn't get together, so I was sad, but I have really beautiful, wonderful friends here in town, so I got to spend time with them, and they're kind of my chosen family. So that was really nice.
Yeah.
And my big sister, my oldest sister, did come and join for one of them, and that was really fun. And we have a lot of fun together.
Yeah.
And so that was a relationship that was pretty tumultuous for big parts of our life.
Yeah. And the fact that you two can come together now.
Yeah, and that we actually really like time together. So I was really grateful for that. And I know we're like, let's do an upbeat episode, but unless there are some wild magical things in the mix, these will be Charlie's last holidays. So I was super thankful that he is here and that the pups are happy and healthy. Well, we had a pretty tough health weekend for Charlie, but he's here and he's happy, and so just recognizing like next Thanksgiving will feel very different.
Yeah,
it'll be the first one in my adult life without him.
Oh,
and so staying in the present
is important
with that now,
which is our next episode for sure. And I mean, it plays into kindness is our topic for today, but gratitude is obviously something that brings us joy. So I'm sure that you were grateful to spend those moments with him.
Absolutely.
Which is huge.
Yeah. What about you?
Chosen family is very important to me as well. But this is my first Thanksgiving as a married couple. It was really nerve-wracking at first because it was the first time our families like actually were in the same household together. Okay. And the whole time I was like, it's hot in here. Somebody turn up the damn AC. I am like, is this what menopause feels like? That was me whole Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
But I cooked my ass off because I love the traditional sides.
Yeah.
I love food. And there's so many things about preparing for a party that just remind me of my mom and my dad, and I miss them. They're in the Philippines. Like, thank God I still have them. But it definitely became a moment of, I wish they were here, but I'm going to definitely crush it.
Yeah.
I fucking crushed Thanksgiving.
Nice.
I started cooking Tuesday night, cooked all day Wednesday, and then finished off everything on Thursday and, like, got to take my time. With the fact that it's time to now invest into chafing dishes, everything was great. Mine sans the chafing dish little debacle that we had.
Chafing?
Yeah,
dishes?
Like not like when runners run and it hurts, like not that type of chafing, but like buffet servers. Like with the burners, the butane burners.
Oh, they're called chafing?
Yeah.
That does not sound appetizing at all.
Buffet dishes. Yeah, buffet.
Okay.
On the next episode of Stories, Success,
I'm hearing like chafing and like I don't know. It's not producing good things in my head.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's like
serving dishes.
Yeah, buffet tables.
Okay.
Yeah. So like my parents run a restaurant called Kristelle and Jace in San Fernando, which is in the Philippines. And I'm always appreciative of the amount of kindness that they show in their homes in Cebu, and then also here when they're back home in Albuquerque. So it's always really nice whenever we have a get together just to cook and actually like nail a recipe, and everything's like really good. Everything's really delicious. Like I actually I don't usually like my leftovers when I cook. I don't usually eat.
I would die without leftovers in my life.
I am still enjoying leftovers after day 4,
Nice.
and I'm pretty proud of myself. Anyways.
Well, before we leave food and gratitude and kindness, a friend asked me, like, what was your your favorite thing? I'm like, oh no, this was hands down the best tasting Thanksgiving that I have attended. And I cooked and baked as well. Yeah. But my really good friend, my closest girlfriend in town, she converted her whole menu to gluten-free.
Oh, wow.
For me. Yeah.
Oh, I should have known. I could have passed on my stuffing recipe.
Oh my gosh, her stuffing, I literally, like, I was speechless. Wow. It was so good. So she did gluten-free mac and cheese, stuffing. She did a mushroom gravy for me.
Oh, wow.
She did a gluten-free walnut pie. I did a pumpkin pie. I did a pot pie. But, so I got to eat everything.
Oh, that's
this year.
really sweet.
Yeah. She did her regular stuff too. So she ultra cooked.
Yeah.
But she really went out of her way to
great.
make sure that I could have everything for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
which to me, like, food is food and time are my love languages.
Yeah.
And so someone taking time to make me food and to go out of her, like, that to me, I was like in tears afterwards. Like, in the mix of it was like busy and whatever, but that level of kindness when someone will do something
for you.
So yes, like so caring for me, that just was so touching. And then I'm still eating it. And like I was telling her, like, your mac and cheese at 3:00 in the morning, like, is the best. Like, it's everything.
Well, it's a really great segue into the topic of kindness, right? Like, what's the best way? Studies have shown that kindness actually helps with mental health, right? Taking that high road. But you bring up things. It was really funny, actually. My son said this today. He goes, I learned that a way to a woman's heart, my son's 15, a way to a woman's heart is through food. And I was like, yes, you nailed it, right? And it's and he can be kind when he's not
being a teenage boy.
So what, in your opinion, is the best way for somebody to show kindness? Is it what we see in current events, or is it an adaptation per person? Is it like especially curated for that individual?
I think it's especially curated per individual and different circumstances as well. Like my friend spending hours making things for me. That's incredible kindness, and it was so touching. But I also think about a time not too long ago where I was stressed out and I was frustrated and I was just kind of having a really tough morning. Yeah. And I'm walking the pups, and there's this lady across the street who's looking over, and we kind of make eye contact and like, oh, hey, like the quick, like, good morning. But she keeps looking at me.
Is this the same lady that called out your ABBA concert?
No. This is just a stranger. I don't know who this is. But she smiled at me, and I smiled back. But then she just held my gaze and like really smiled at me. Made sure I received that. I don't know why. I don't know if she could tell I needed it, or if it was just, the universe working through her. Yeah. But that was a simple, momentary act of smiling at me, and it completely transformed my day. It just reminded me, like, oh yeah, be in the present, like be in that connection. I'm cared about. I'm not alone. Like there was a lot packed in there, and it was just a tiny little smile from a stranger. That's so
warming to me. And I think of these every time I think of a kindness. And it's how my brain is wired now, especially after working with them for so long. But we have this really great nonprofit that we work with, the Jennifer Reardon Foundation, in honor of Jennifer Reardon, an amazing community individual that her legacy lives on through kind, loving, caring, and sharing, her motto, right? I want to be her at some point in time, right? But what was really great is that moments like that get beautifully captured through the Kindness app. Yeah. And so when I think what I love about the team working on that project is you take a moment where you like sit and you are present in the kindness that not many people feel that feeling because their day just goes on or life just happens or their schedules goes on. But the fact that we get the kindness that makes you sit and reflect about what did you do that's kind enough today that helps you through grief, helps you through pain, helps you through the bad times, the good times, whatever you might be going through. Kindness really is healing. Yeah. And I in a particular moment in my life is that my son was around 7 or 8, he had just moved back, and I was really tired. It was 2017. I remember like it was yesterday. It was the week that my mom started to go through her major health challenges. She's a pancreatic cancer survivor. And it was just when we started to discover everything kind of going down. December and January was when it started to happen. And I was just at the Sadie's, just right around the corner. And Jonathan and I just sat in the back in that big wide room, and there was only 4 people there. There was only 3 people there. It was my son and I, and this random lady. She gave, and you talking about like that smile, that genuine smile. She looked at me, and I had a moment of, oh, wow. She was really nice, but I thought, why is she so friendly? She didn't say anything to me. Well, she walked off, and she's like, have a good day. And I was like, okay, bye. And, Jonathan was just like, I want sopapillas. I want this. And I'm like, I'm fucking tired. I didn't want to cook. My mom is like not well right now. Spencer and I were just dating, and I was like, he's here, but like he doesn't understand what's going on, and now they're getting mad at him for being my boyfriend or us moving in together. That's what it was. And all of a sudden I get this napkin. I still have the napkin to this day. And it said, I appreciate it when mom and sons are together. I still like cry about it too. I appreciate it. She said something along the lines, I appreciate it when mom and sons get to have quality time together and dinner. Hope you have a good dinner together. And she paid for my bill.
Aww.
I died. Like, I cried. I was like, she had no idea what I was going through and how difficult it was. And then I said to myself, it was 2017. I said to myself, I'm going to do the exact same thing that she did for me. It has to be like the perfect situation. It has to be a mom that looks really tired and a kid. And it happened a couple months ago. I felt like the act of kindness that I want, like, and everybody does acts of kindness in various different ways, but it's really fulfilling when you do it when like it's that serendipitous movie moment. Like we have Justin in the room, and so he understands like that movie scene, that cinematic scene. And the cinematic scene for me was sitting at Noodle House, just right down the street. And Jonathan and I really love their xiaolong bao, which is their steamed dumplings. So we're sitting steamed dumplings, and I see this mom walk in, and she's like visibly tired. She's in her scrubs still, and she has this 2-year-old that's Iron Man. Iron Man walked in, and they sat together. He got the biggest meal, and she had the smallest cup of soup. And I was like, I know exactly what she's doing. And so I said to Jonathan, I was like, hey, bud, do you remember that one time? And he goes, is it time to pay it forward? Sure enough. Like, kindness comes in the most craziest ways.
Yeah.
The craziest stories. And, like, I don't like to gloat kindness. I don't like to brag about kindness. I don't like to brag about the fact that our team does what we do in the kind moments that we have. But at the end of the day, like, it helps us be human. Kindness helps us be human in the most craziest times of our lives, I think.
Absolutely.
So
what do you think about, I know a lot of people get upset when kindness is publicized. Like, oh, you shouldn't tell anybody, or you shouldn't document it. Because then it's selfish, or it takes away from it, or you're not doing it to be kind, you're doing it for yourself. But there's a lot of ideas, and people get really annoyed when others show their kindness. But there is a guy I see him on Instagram, I don't know who it is.
Mr. Beast?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, tell me what does he do?
He goes and like goes to he's not in America.
Okay.
Or sometimes he is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not Mr. Beast.
Okay. But he'll go to like a taco stand and be like, how much for all of your tacos? And he'll just buy out the entire truck and then put out signs for like free tacos and just buy lunch for everybody.
That's rad.
Or he went to where like day workers are and was like, hey, I need 4 or 3 or whatever, like who's available, and then just took them to Disneyland.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
that guy was so rad.
Yeah. And like, so he gets flack for taping all of that, but I love seeing it.
Yeah.
And to see the result of that kindness and to just transform somebody's day with this simple act.
Yeah.
Right? Where, for some people buying out a taco truck wouldn't be simple, but if you have the resources, it's not that hard to do, right? And so I like seeing that stuff. It inspires me, like, how can I show up in my day, even if it's just a smile or even if it's just listening? Listening is one of the greatest acts of kindness I've discovered.
Yeah.
So what do you think about people? And it's not bragging. To show something doesn't mean bragging. It's not like, oh, let me tell you what there's a different feel, but what do you think?
Yeah, it's when you put that fake on face. It's when you put that fake face on and you're just like, well, I did this because I felt like it was in the goodness of the community and have that machismo look. Like, that's when I say, who is it serving? Yeah. Like, I believe in the phrase servant leadership for a reason. And servant leadership does encompass empathy, it encompasses kindness, it encompasses discipline. And so those are three things that I think servant leadership really have. And so when a leader like that goes on and talks about what he did today, he's telling his story. I'm all for that. I'm not for, when you're telling the story, to serve your ego. We talked about ego in a previous episode, and it's self-serving. Like, if it genuinely brings you joy, don't shit on him. Like, don't shit on somebody else's joy because you're not happy. Sure. Until you become the person that actually is the recipient of that free fucking taco, then you'd be like, this guy's fucking awesome. Right?
Who doesn't like free tacos?
Who doesn't like fucking free tacos, right? But my point is, I get grumpy when people shit on other people's kindness and make them feel belittled. Let him do what he does as long as he has it in the right intentions. Yeah. I personally like to talk about when we volunteer and we do kindness activities, when the only time I like to do this is not as a way to promote the company. I don't think that's genuine. I think it's more of a look at what we do as a team. Yeah. It's a team building. We love it. Yeah. Yeah. And we really like to get out of the office, right? And we like to keep things fun around here. What's more fun than wrapping Christmas presents or setting up food? Yeah. At a food bank.
I like when we cooked for Ronald McDonald House Charities. That was really fun. We all made a big meal together. That was one of my favorite things that we did. And then to like sit and share, like, again, food, right? Yeah. Food, time, kindness. Yes, like those are I love doing that together as a team. That was really special for me.
Yeah. And like at the end of the day, I think the part that's always really nice, but I never expect it, is when we get letters of thanks from the residents or we don't get them at all. I'm okay with that. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah. I think what becomes very heartwarming is the fact that, you know, we see kindness as a way of just portraying emotion or giving out emotion. And I think that I'm still of the vein that it's harder to be positive than it's easy to be negative. I think staying positive includes taking the high road and being kind. I know I sound really angry about kindness, but like I just have there's a lot of people that ruin kindness, and it's like, don't do that.
Right. And I think when we're showing it, or when people will display it and others get mad, I'm like, but there's so many negative things that get displayed on the news, on social, on you know, whatever. And it's like, why not balance that with also seeing that there's a whole lot of wonderful people and acts, way more than there are negative. Yeah. But we don't see them, and then you get in trouble for showing them, and I'm like, I'd like to see them. Bring on more displays of human connection. Because like you said, like we are actually wired for kindness and connection. We have all kinds of rewards that are built in when kindness is in the mix, or when we are being in service or volunteering or whatever. And it's like, well, if it feels good to you, then it's not, that it's like doesn't count. Yeah. And it's like, but we're designed. We literally get rewarded with feel-good chemicals when we do kind things. Yeah. So why can't, like, it's supposed to be mutual. Humans are designed for things to be mutually beneficial, and kindness is one of them.
Well, I always, like, when you talk about the human element and I talk about leadership, like, I think that there's that stigma of leadership that's out there that you have to be big, badass boss bitch. Cool. Yeah. But the best bosses that people remember are the ones that were incredibly kind. And bosses get taken advantage of. Like, their kindness is genuine. I've been that person where somebody took advantage of my kindness. It's very defeating, but that can't, I would say if any of you all are listening that are actual bosses right now or in charge of a company, a small business owner, and it gets very hard whenever you're looking for continuing on your kindness, but you can't afford it, or somebody abused it, or somebody just kind of spit it back in your face. Like, it happens to us small business owners. It happens to us in leadership. Just keep going. Like, be kind, because at the end of the day, no matter how much money you have, people are going to remember you for the kind act that you did for them.
That's very true.
Yeah.
And on all of this, like, I was reminded in a really big way last week, somewhere that I go often, somebody who also is there often, had gone, seemed totally normal, was out just having what appeared to be a regular night. This is not someone I'm close to, and went home and killed himself.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And there was no, like, clear sign of that happening.
Oh, no.
And it really hit me, not because I have a personal connection. I didn't particularly like the person. I know after someone's gone, we're supposed to like, oh, he's a saint. No, we didn't vibe.
Yeah.
But this idea, and I was sitting there in the same place that he had last been beforehand, and I'm looking out at all of these people, and I'm going, we have no idea what any one of these people are going through at all. And we might, and I've been that person where I have a smile on and I seem like everything's okay, and no one had any idea. Even when I was planning my suicide, not a single person had any idea of what was actually going on inside.
Yeah.
And it was that reminder to me to be kind. There's that saying, right? Like, we don't know what people are going through. Be kind always.
Yeah.
And it was just that, like, holy shit, this person was here amongst, hundreds of people, and then went home and was just having a completely different experience inside than we saw outside. And I just thought, fuck, just be kind. Like, that doesn't mean I have to allow people to walk all over me. It doesn't mean that I don't get to have boundaries. People think that, like, oh, well, I have to protect my... Kindness can be just... It can be the smile. It can be listening. It can be expressing something in a gentler way. It can be a lot of different things. It can just be like, hey, how are you doing? Like, are you doing okay? And, like, actually listening for the answer, or giving a hug. It doesn't have to be these big acts, but it was such a huge reminder to me that I do not know what people are going through inside.
Yeah, and especially with the holidays, too. I think with all of the hoopla that's going on, it's important just to pay attention, because you never know, like you said, what inner demon might be, tackling somebody on. Yeah. And I think it is important to kind of end on this good note that, like, at the end of the day, life is very short, and the last thing that you want to be remembered for is just how kind you are, or the act of kindness that you might have did for somebody. Yeah. Because that's gonna make moves, that's gonna make motions, So
it really does.
Yeah, I appreciate you talking about kindness and that human element, and having us an opportunity to, like, sit and enjoy it. I'm also looking forward to our next topic. Our next topic is contentment while striving forward. Yes, you said it better.
Yes, I was like,
how is it?
Phrase that.
Oh, well,
this notion.
Gratitude. No. Ego. No. Contentment. Got it.
Yeah.
Excited to talk about that one.
Yeah. How do we look towards the future and work towards something while also being in acceptance of the present?
In acceptance of the present.
Yeah. Harmonizing those two.
Yeah.
Not an easy task.
Exciting episode for sure. So thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you listening to us on Stories, Success, and Stuff. Hey, don't forget to subscribe on Spotify, on Apple iTunes, and any type of your favorite podcast channel. And most importantly, don't forget to follow us on your favorite social media channel at Siarza the Agency. I'm Kristelle. This is Jace. Thanks for listening to Stories, Success, and Stuff.